I don't have a job. I don't have a college degree. My kids live 1,000 miles away from me. I've been single for 2 years. I sleep in a twin bed. I don't have a car. All true. All of those are true. But I love me. I love where I'm at. I love where I'm going. And I love where I've been. You've got to love yourself. If you don't love yourself, you can't love anybody else, nor can you let anybody else love you. Hello from Tim in Fresno, California. I'm coming to you today because it has been a year since I have been on YouTube, a year and a couple of months now. And when I first got on YouTube, YouTube worked wonders for me, and it was a form of therapy. And I was definitely going through some interesting challenges in my life. And so, you know, I'm sitting in a good place in my life right about now, and I'm going to embark on, I don't want to call it a series because I don't know how far I'm going to go with this, but words of encouragement and just things that have helped me along my path, and that have helped me get to where I needed to get to. So in our trying times, and I'm sure that most of my subscribers are and my friends here on YouTube are like, this guy is always happy, this guy is always smiling. Grumpy Chuck said it best, I love love. And that has truly been the answer. I know everybody says I love love, or I love this, I love that, but do we really? Do we really love? Do we really love love? And I'm going to start because, like I said, I've had an incredible, challenging last several years. Everything from personal relationships to employment to education to children, parenting. So I've had all kinds of challenges, and I'm truly glad that I've learned what I've learned, so I want to share that. And so I asked the question, do you love yourself? And I know that that's a deep question, and I know immediately you'll answer and say, well, of course I love myself. And I too answered that I loved myself. But as I began to soul search and as I began to try and cope with the challenges in life, I found that I didn't truly love myself. And that's when I realized that loving someone else is virtually impossible until you're in love with yourself. And I don't say romantically in love with yourself, but yeah, romantically in love with yourself. You know, I learned in this last couple of years that being alone is okay. Being alone and not being lonely is okay. But being lonely in the midst of people is not good. And I've learned by being in love with myself that being alone is okay, and I'm not lonely. It's taken me many years, but I've gotten to that point where I'm no longer lonely. And that's all part of being in love with yourself. But in order to be in love with yourself, we've got to figure out all the negatives, all the things that we don't like, all the things that bother us, that frustrate us. You know, little things, big things, whatever they may be. Each one of us are different, so we will all have different things that we need to identify, and then we need to break the habits, stop the madness, control that part, and then forgive ourselves. And that's the biggest part. Many of us walk around with guilt of things that we've done, things that we do, things that we are sorry about, but we haven't forgiven ourselves. Forgive ourselves, love ourselves. You can't love yourself until you forgive yourself. So we all make mistakes, and you know what? The forgiving part is an ongoing process. But once you have allowed yourself to forgive yourself, and you know what, and say you're all right, the loving yourself process really begins. And so that piece of loving myself, and I fell in love again with myself, was the beginning steps. So no matter what you're going through, the beginning process is loving yourself. So start by taking those steps. It really does work. And I've got more coming. But in the meantime, I'm sending you love and I'm sending you smiles. Remember, start by forgiving yourself. It's the beginning of loving yourself. Love and smiles, Tim from Fresno, California.